When you get a collapse in the faith of a fiat currency, what happens? Gold is still there. It's not gold going up, it's these currencies tanking. That is the point which people have got to understand. And that is why don't look at the price of gold. It's immaterial. Just think in terms of safety, because the price of gold is not the price of gold. It is actually the price of a fiat currency. Gold does not have a price. Gold is always set.
If we look at the Federal Reserve data, it indicates that countries have gradually reduced their dollar holdings, decreasing from 71% in 2000 to 58% in 2022. Gold prices are trading higher on Tuesday, influenced by a combination of declining US Treasury yields and a softer US dollar. This movement comes as investors eagerly await decisions from various central banks and key U.S. economic data releases scheduled for the week. Alasdair Macleod, member of the London Stock Exchange PLC, suggests that gold's perceived rise is more about losing faith in currencies than an actual increase in its intrinsic value. He questions the market's faith in lower interest rates and criticizes the prevailing Keynesian view. Bloomberg's dollar gauge has jumped about 2% this year, with the currency strengthening against all of its major peers, as investors wound back bets on Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. While the greenback's advance has yet to be as prolonged as last year, the recent spike higher is a reality check for investors betting on dollar weakness, and for the authorities hoping for a respite. Alasdair links the dollar's decline to central bankers covertly acquiring gold to safeguard reserves. The WGC predicts that central bank buying will continue to support gold prices significantly in 2024. This expectation is based on the robust central bank purchases observed in 2022 and 2023. In fact, WGC chief strategist John Reed expressed surprise at the substantial increase in central bank purchases during those years. The WGC suggests that central bank demand contributed 10% or more to gold's performance in 2023. Macleod predicts growing tensions in Israel, more involvement from Russia and China, and potential harm to the dollar due to Iran's role in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and looming proxy wars, notably in Ukraine. Now, we present the clips of Alasdair Macleod's insights from his recent interview with Keynesian Money. Before we continue to delve into this discussion, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates.
The hope in the market is that interest rates will go down because, it's just populated by Keynesians who believe this rubbish. They don't understand that if you restrict the quantity of credit, which is what we're seeing in the banking figures, then the price of that credit rises. This is ABC stuff. They don't understand it. That's what's going to happen. So this idea that we're going to get, don't worry, lads, we're going to get rescued by lower interest rates, it is so incorrect. And of course, when you get a collapse in the faith of a fiat currency, what happens? Gold is still there. It's not gold going up, it's these currencies tanking. That is the point which people have got to understand. And that is why don't look at the price of gold. It's immaterial. Just think in terms of safety, because the price of gold is not the price of gold. It is actually the price of a fiat currency. Gold does not have a price. Gold is always set. When we had gold standards, it was always set in terms of weight. The weight of gold per dollar, the weight of gold, in terms of grains or whatever the measure was, in terms of sterling. That is always the way it's done, for the very simple reason that the price is in the paper. It is not in the real money, which is gold. And when people wake up to that, I think these fiat currencies are doomed. The dollar going down, it's not gold going up. And central bankers understand this. They won't admit it in public, but just look at their actions. They're trying to get every ounce of gold out of the refiners they can possibly lay their hands on, because they see these risks and they know what's going on with Brics and all the rest of it. They know that the dollar's days are done. They know, therefore, the entire fiat currency system, which is based on the dollar, is basically going to undergo the sort of change, which means that you want to have as much gold in your reserves as you possibly can. That's why they're doing it. And they're going to continue to do it. And then, of course, the other aspect of America's hegemony being lost, I mean, we've been talking about dollar hegemony, is, the political side. They're no longer the world's policemen. They're being kicked out of the Middle East. I mean, I've seen headlines even today that the Iraqis want to get the Americans out from Iraq. You see what's going on with Israel. I mean, that's spreading into the Lebanon now, Hezbollah. That is escalating, and that's going to bring in more direct action from the other side. And don't believe that Russia is sitting on the sidelines here. Russia and China are debating strategy with Iran. Iran joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization back in July. They are now part of this big Asian scene. I mean, the way they have managed to move the Houthis, against shipping, it basically Lloyd's underwriters have done the rest for them. They said, it's going through Suez, it's uninsurable. Forget it. That's the way you do a proxy war. America, take note. So what we face this year as well, which will impact very badly on the dollar, is the Ukraine situation is coming to an end. And guess what? Ukraine basically will end up, it's the armies are talking to each other now, not the politicians. Zelensky is cut out of it.
During the interview, Alasdair Macleod discussed about Russia's strategic moves in the Brics presidency. He stated these actions as part of Russia's broader global strategy to reduce America's global influence. Brics is moving quickly to ditch the US dollar and promote their native currencies for global trade. With further expansion in 2024 imminent, 16 new countries are expected to drop the US dollar in 2024 and join Brics. Brics would have a strong case for replacing the dollar with a reserve currency of their own, except that their currency's performance has generally been worse than the dollar. Alasdair delved into the matter of Iran expressing interest in a gold-backed currency, expecting a resolution in the upcoming Brics meetings despite objections. The multilateral platform provided by the Brics enables Iran to grasp more opportunities to boost economic cooperation with other countries and better serve its national interests, said Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesman Nasser Kanani on Monday, the day Iran became an official Brics member. Moreover, he mentioned gold's stability, contrasting it with the volatile dollar-denominated oil price since 1950. Let's get back to the interview.
Russia has taken over the Brics presidency as of January the 1st. And in his New Year's statement, Putin said that they have planned over 200 meetings and conferences for Brics, which will be attended around Russia in this year of their presidency, finishing with the big meeting in, I can't remember the name of the place, it's sort of southern Russia in October. So you can see that this is well planned. Now, we do know that last year Russia tried to get a new gold-backed currency, trade settlement currency, which I think actually is replacing the dollar in the middle of a transaction. Because as you know, if you're selling currency A to buy currency B, you sell currency A to buy dollars, you then sell dollars to buy currency B. So that the dollar is the stepping stone in the middle. I think that's the bit they want to replace with gold. So it means that people will build up gold reserves and all the rest of it. And part of this, I'm convinced, I mean, these Russians know what they're talking about. Part of this, I think, is to drive down the value of the dollar once it is less accepted, if you like, as the international reserve currency. And gold is increasingly accepted as such in its place. So that, I think, was very much Russia's strategy as part of getting, killing the America's power. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is I saw a quote in a paper called The Cradle yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. The Iranian foreign minister was saying that they had discussed this at in the run-up to the last Brics meeting. They were still keen to introduce a new gold-backed trade settlement currency, and that will be on the agenda this year. I think that the protestations that really came from India principally, I think that will be dealt with amongst these 200 meetings. I mean, the whole idea basically is to get the guys on side. And also attending those meetings, incidentally, will be the new candidates for the new round of Brics joinees, as it were. So that, I think, is the way in which gradually gold is being seen to be replacing the dollar, if you like, coming back into the center of the international monetary system in its rightful place as the money which everybody accepts and the money which prices everything evenly without very much fluctuation. I mean, if you look at the price of oil since 1950, oil in 1950, I think was $2.50 odd a barrel.
Yeah.
In dollars, it's currently, I mean, WTI is what, 72 or something, having been up to 140 before the Lehman crisis. And also, incidentally, being negative at one stage because of storage problems. If you look at the price in gold, I mean, it has fluctuated. But, the fluctuations, I think, have been as much due to disruption from the dollar as anything else. I think the most I've seen it up was 2.5 times from that 1950 level. Currently, priced in gold, the price of oil, I think, is down something like 20%. I haven't actually run the figures, in the last month or two, but that's the sort of level it is. So from 1950 to today, basically, in gold, the price is unchanged. This is actually what everybody wants.
Gold prices could close the year as much as 10% above current levels on the back of potential interest rate cuts, UBS strategists said, despite declines at the start of 2024. Considering the changing economic strategies, how do you envision gold's role? And what impact do you anticipate on global currencies? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to support our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos. See you in the next video.